Are you in the market for a face tracking tripod similar to this? You're gonna wanna watch this video before you purchase anything. Hello and welcome back to Gears and Tech. As you already heard, we are reviewing this specific face tracking tripod, but we're gonna talk about face tracking tripods in general as well in this video so that you have all the information required to make a smart choice before purchasing your smart tripod. Now this one it's an Alertoa Smart Face Tracking Holder. Smart Face Object Tracking Holder. I purchased this one for a very specific reason, and I've looked at a lot of different smart trackers, so I will give you my specific thoughts on this tracker, but also on general trackers as well. So let's talk about the features of this tracker. This one, as you can see, it comes with a phone holder. It's spring loaded, so you can pop your phone in there. You can also turn it like that and get it sideways or vertical, which is nice. You can do different things in between as well if you really want to get fancy with it. It does charge in the back here with a micro USB cord, and then it turns on and then it'll just try to track you and find you. So this one's turning on right now, and now it's doing its boot up. So it's going around looking for people. There, so now it found me. So if I go over here, see how it turns and looks for me? If I go over here, then it looks for me. If I go, I'll just go like this and just move me. So you see how it rotates. So this is really cool. Now when I get out of view, it's gonna go, oh, you're out of view, I don't know where you are. Before we get too far into this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below. If you've seen some of our content already and have not subscribed, we want you to join our community. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's get back to the video. Let's talk about what this guy is supposed to do and what it does. So according to the box, this has a 355-degree rotation, so it cannot spin infinitely, but it can almost spin all the way around, which is fine because usually you don't want to see directly behind you. So it'll go all the way from there, all the way around to over there just fine. It has, they call it vlog shooting. So yes, you can use this for vlogging where I could just set this up, and if I was moving around, it would just track me as I go. It has object tracking. Yes, it does. It looks for people, specifically for people. And we'll get into that a little bit later. So make sure you stay for that as I talk about my experience as it tracks people. Video shooting, yes, you can put a GoPro on here, you can put a phone on here, you can put a SLR on here, you can put anything you want and it will work. And I'll show you that as well. It has a stable bracket, that's this, which is, it's actually got a really wide base to it, so it is quite stable. It won't shake around, especially as it's moving. So it is very stable. Artificial intelligence, we'll talk about that. It says it's got artificial intelligence and it does seem pretty smart. The big thing with this, no need to use an app. So you don't have to download an app and then set it up on your phone and say, this is the guy I'm looking for. You just turn it on, let it power cycle, and it will do its thing right away. The main reason why I chose this is because it can do this. I know this is really exciting, right? It has this, a 1/4-inch thumb screw that is standard on pretty much every single camera in existence. Video camera, action camera, SLR, anything that films anything has this screw. So in my case, I could screw an adapter on here that converts a GoPro mount to a 1/4 thumb screw and mount my GoPro on here. I can mount an SLR camera on here. I can mount a video camera on here. Anything that mounts to a traditional tripod can mount to this. But wait, that's not all. This also unscrews, and this has its own 1/4-inch thumb screw insert, which means that this unit can be added to any tripod that you already have. So if you already have a tripod, you just stick this on that tripod and then put your camera on here. It just raises your camera up by the couple inches that this is, and it then includes tracking. That's why I got this one. So a lot of the other ones, there are cheaper options out there. This one is about $50 Canadian on Amazon. So in US, it's probably 35 to 40 bucks. But they don't have these thumb screws. Most of them have a phone holder on it like this, and it's there, it's always there. So you can't just take it off and use it something else. You have to use it with a phone. The other thing to know is on the box, where does it say? On the box it says built-in smart tracking camera, 30 frames per second, full HD 1080p. It's important to know that is the specs of this camera right here. This camera only does tracking. So if they said this is a 4K camera, it wouldn't matter. It would still just be used for tracking. You have no way to extract the image from this. This must be used with a cell phone that you stick in here, and then the cell phone would record what you're trying to record. This camera would simply follow you. That brings me to the downside of this tracking tripod, and most tracking tripods will have this problem. So number one, it says it has AI person tracking or face tracking. That is true, as long as there's only one person in the shot. When you have one person in the shot, it will track you beautifully. Maybe beautifully is the wrong word to use. I'll talk about that in a minute, but it will track you just fine. However, if somebody were to walk into the scene and then walk out of the scene, sometimes this will follow that person out of the scene. And a few times while I was filming, people walked in front of the camera and the camera just started following them. And I never even noticed that the camera wasn't filming anymore what I wanted it to. It was filming my dogs in the dining room instead of me in the room that I was supposed to be in. So I had to go walk back in front of the camera, wait until it saw me, and then walk back into the view. And that happened enough times to be an annoyance. So it is something to keep in mind. If you do not have a clean shooting space, i.e., like what do I mean by that? I mean, if you don't have a designated area where there's just you, and there might be people coming and going, you can't guarantee that this is going to follow you the whole time. Not with this model. There are other models out there that will track you, but we'll talk about the price difference on those. The other thing I noticed is this is recording at 30 frames, or the camera is seeing at 30 frames per second, and that actually creates some jerky tracking footage. So I'll show you that footage while I talk about this. But it would have me in frame, and when I moved over, the camera would go zzz, 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 and then it would get me. And then when I moved far to the other way, it would kind of go jerky. It wasn't very smooth. It wasn't like a nice panning shot. It was more of a jerk shot. And I'm not excited about that. I want it has to be smooth. For the videos that I'm doing, it has to be smooth. If you know that it does that, you could get creative around that. You would just have to know if you walk from here to over there, you can't be talking while you're walking. You have to say your piece here, walk over there, then say your piece over there, and you could do a jump cut. And if you're willing to do jump cuts, then you could chop out the motion time where it's jerking over, but you'd have to be extremely aware while you're filming to not be talking while you're in there. And that's hard to do. I find myself just doing what I'm doing and not paying attention to what the camera's doing. And so with this camera, you will end up with a little bit less high quality of footage. Now, like I said, there are other ones that are a similar price to this, around the $50 range. They will all suffer from similar problems in one form or another. In my case, the other ones I couldn't even consider because the phone mount was permanently attached to the tripod, and that wasn't going to do. I film with a GoPro, I film with an Osmo Action, and I've been filming with an Insta360. So all of them require that 1/4-inch thumb screw to be able to work. And so without that, it's really quite useless for me. From a user perspective, I would say I definitely have places where I would use this, but most of the time I won't. I would rather just frame my shot wide enough that I can see myself within that whole shot and deal with that problem. If you're getting closer, where you've got closer footage, and you could use this and it will track you and it'll do a pretty good job. And for 50 bucks, it's way cheaper than hiring a cameraman. Way cheaper. Just know that there are some issues you'd have to overcome. It is somewhat of a budget price. Also, it's battery powered, so you have to charge it when the battery dies. It's not going to do anything for you unless you've brought extra cords or battery banks or whatever. That's most of them do that, so that's not like a flaw. That's just, it is what it is. Now, there are better units out there, and specifically this one, it's called the Obsbot Me AI powered phone mount. Now, I looked at that originally. It's $200, so it's quite expensive. However, it has significantly advanced features. So you remember I was talking about multiple people in and out of the shot? With the Obsbot, you go in and you tell it who to track by standing in front of the camera and you hold your hand up and it says, oh, okay, you're the guy to follow. And it will follow you exclusively. You can have other people come in and out of the video and it won't care because it knows who you are and it will follow you through the entire scene all the time. Somebody else can enter the scene, hold their hand up, and take control of it because it will always follow the last person that had their hand up. And it will do it beautifully. You will take control from the other guy and then it'll follow you all over the place until somebody else goes in front and then claims ownership of it. It is very, very cool. And the problem that I explained about the tracking issues with this are completely solved with that. It is so smooth, buttery smooth, everywhere it gets. So it solves that problem. The biggest reason why I didn't get that, number one, is the cost. I don't know if I need a $200 cameraman all the time. The $50 one seemed like a better deal. The Obsbot has the phone holder permanently mounted to it. I couldn't find a way to attach my GoPro, and I didn't want to be filming with a phone. I don't have the brand new iPhone 13 Pro with the super duper camera that films better than any other camera that you've ever seen before. I just have an old phone that works just fine, but not that fine. So I'd rather be able to mount my higher end action camera to it, which films much better than my cell phone. And this didn't give me that option. If you're looking for a budget one, this is a good budget one. Just know that it has issues. If you're looking for a high quality one that solves all the problems that this has, that Obsbot is the one for you. I will put links to both of these in the description. So this one, if that's what you're looking for, and the Obsbot. You can always check those out. I've got other links down in the description below as well. But that's really all I needed to cover about this for today. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this channel, consider joining our members group. That's where we're building this community, the Gears and Tech community, where we can all enjoy content together. You'll get special perks, which we'd love for you to check out by clicking the link down below. For those of you who are just happy to watch the video, that's okay too. You can check out some of our other content right over here, where we've got some previous videos that have already been uploaded and enjoyed by many of our viewers already. We do hope to see you again. This has been Gears and Tech. Have a great day.